Good evening and many thanks for joining us. Welcome to CoreTV News at 7 with me, Emmanuel Ezekiel. The PDP Governors Forum has restated its aversion that it terms politicization of corruption in the name of campaign through military apologies. The forum urged Nigerians to ensure continuous development in the country by voting for the People's Democratic Party in the forthcoming elections. The chairman of the forum, Governor Godswill Akpabio of Akwa Ibom State, says Nigerians should not allow the opposition drive them back to the obvious transformation going on in the country, while his Niger and Jigawa State counterparts, Babangida Aliyu and Sule Lamido, in the same vein urged Nigerians to vote wisely in the coming elections. The PDP Governors Forum also reiterates the fact that the forum does not want any Nigerian disenfranchised in the coming elections through the use of voter cards, which they believe could cause hitches during the polls. Meanwhile, the governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha of the All Progressives Congress, said they have new members and they're expecting from the opposition. The governor, who was a guest at the ongoing governorship campaign of the party in Lagos, says seven governors from the party are being expected to join the fold. Okorocha, who is also the chairman of the APC Governors Forum, says the party is a blessing to Nigeria.
Today, about 7 governors who are not APC is coming to hold meeting with us privately to join us. Don't tell anybody, don't tell anybody. Number 2, there's fear in the country. The fear is that they know Buhari is a good man. They know Buhari will win. But there's one fear. The fear is that once they announce Buhari as a president on the 28th of March, all the bad people where they chop our money, they go run for midnight.
Staying with politics, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has said he is fully committed to the APC and the success of his presidential candidate, General Muhammadu Buhari, and other candidates of the party. He insisted that his stand is unwavering and not up for bargaining. The former vice president said this against the backdrop of reports in a section of the media of his purported return to the fold of the ruling People's Democratic Party. He noted in a statement issued by his media raid in Abuja Tuesday that reports of return to the PDP or any other party is the handiwork of mischief makers bent on pitching him against other leaders of the opposition party. Atiku Abubakar maintained that it will take more than the antics of mischief makers to break that bond. He pointed out that his return from Adamawa, where he convened a stakeholders meeting to reconcile disagreeing camps in the party, is a clear testimony of his commitment to the APC. Now, with the card readers recently tests run across the country, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the alleged moves by some parties to ensure that the device is not used, different opinions have trailed this outcome. While some hailed the test run and the card readers as a game changer, others do not seem to agree. Our reporter, Oluwaseyi Adegoke, takes a look at the seeming growing fear of otherwise of the card reader.
Issues surrounding the use of card reader for the 2015 general elections has since been generating mixed reactions from different quarters. At the House of Representatives, the PDP caucus says INEC is taking a huge gamble by insisting on the use of the card reader, while the APC caucus argued that the card readers will go a long way in eliminating rigging during the polls. These analysts, Achike Chude and Delia Shirua, are however of the opinion that the card reader is a game changer.
From what I know about the card reader, it is an innovation that is capable of stopping election rigging in Nigeria. And I am of the view that any political party who is worth its salt, that is popular enough to contest this election, should not have anything against the card reader.
In a society that is fast, developing, science and technology on the rise and the rest. And then the mode of doing election remains as crude as it has been for 15, 16 years. So I think this is the right thing. And we have seen the demonstration, the mock exercise that was conducted. If the PDP was afraid about it, then you want the PDP to be involved in that mock exercise. And I want to believe that they sent officials to the field. And what they would have been told by their officials is that some of the fears, if not all the fears that they have been allayed by this, mock exercise that took place in some states in this country.
They both urged Nigerians to ensure the success of the nation's democratic experience.
My opinion is that the card readers are innovative. They are going to help the process of free, fair, credible, and transparent election in Nigeria.
Those people who are uncomfortable with the card readers should concentrate their energy and attention on making sure that those other factors outside of the machines themselves, the card readers, that those factors work, for the benefit of having credible elections.
But Nigerians also wait with bated breath for what happens next in the unfolding drama leading to the general elections. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
In the same vein, a civil society group, Youth Initiative for Advocacy, Growth and Advancement, YAGA, says the mock test of card readers held in 12 states of the Federation on Saturday was a huge success. This, it said, sums up the report of 195 observers it deployed to 12 registration areas where the field tests of the card readers were held. Spokesman for the group, Samson Itodo, however, noted that in spite of the success of the exercise, there are challenges that INEC needs to address before the general elections. He wants the electoral body to provide an alternative way of transmitting accreditation data from the polling unit to a central server in case the network service fails on election day.
Observed. This was not the case in Egwagwada ward, for instance, in Niger State, where the card reader batteries were about 45 to 50% charged as at the time of commencement. Some polling units in Izu Unuhu ward in Ebonyi State also recorded cases of 45 to 50% battery power level. Extra batteries or backup batteries were not deployed to most polling units. Only 3% of polling units had extra batteries according to field reports. However, the battery of the card reader deployed to PU 008 in Angwan Habu, Nasarawa State, failed to perform optimally. An incident occurred in Bubugaje Primary School, PU 08, that's in Kano State, where the card reader failed to verify several PVCs as at 12 noon. But the polling official had to restart or rebooted the system, and the machine picked up and they proceeded or they continued with the verification exercise.
Staying with election matters, the electoral umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, has rated itself high in the field test of smart card readers in 12 states of the Federation. INEC specifically said it fully achieved its objective of verifying permanent voters' card presented by voters at the polling units where the mock trials were conducted. It also said in a statement issued by Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Kayode Idowu, that 59% of voters who turned up had their fingerprints successfully authenticated. INEC, however, noted that it would be investigating the cause of the failure of the card readers to verify PVCs, especially in Ebonyi State. It has also decided to repeat the exercise in 2 registration areas in the state on March 14th. The recent visit of President Goodluck Jonathan to Osun State last weekend has left the All Progressives Congress in the state alleging gross violation of electoral laws by the PDP, whom they accuse of damaging their party's billboards. The APC says the wanton damage of its billboards and other political paraphernalia in Ilesha and Ile-Ife by hoodlums suspected to be thugs of the People's Democratic Party was triggered by the president's visit to the Asian towns. Our correspondent Rashid tells us more.
In his quest to get re-elected as the #1 citizen of Nigeria, President Goodluck Jonathan had on Saturday made journey to Ile-Ife, the source of the Yorubas, and Ilesha, the headquarters of Ijeshas, to canvass the traditional rulers and have their royal blessing. And as this was going on at the palace of the Ooni of Ife and that of the Owas Palace in Ilesha, allegedly emboldened by the presence of the president in Osun State, the APC accuses the PDP of unleashing terror, pulling down billboards and posters of the APC across the two Asian cities.
Immediately after the visit, all our billboards from Enua down to Moro Junction has been destroyed. Even one that was on ground was pulled down. And we believe that if we had signed a peace accord in Osun for peaceful coexistence, peaceful campaign, it is unheard of that our billboards should be destroyed. But we are not much bothered because we realize that it's their trademark.
Though the PDP has since through a press statement denied the said attack, the APC says evidence is abound that the destruction of APC's billboards are a calculated move by the PDP to cause violence, but the APC vows not to retaliate, as they however call on security agencies to wade into the matter.
It is very appalling. Only God knows what the intentions are. It is an invitation to violence and anarchy. Unfortunately, we have seen the campaign of the PDP thus far. Even if the old first lady could say, if anybody tell you change, stone them. It is telling you that, the disposition, the attitude of the other camp is nothing but invitation for violence and anarchy, which they will never get from us.
We should enjoin the security agencies to call all these people to order. We don't want any violence in Osun. If they believe that it's true violence, they will get the votes of the people. They should call them to order.
Ile-Ife and Ilesha are two strategic political towns in regards to the forthcoming general elections, as the governor of Osun State, Ron Faregbeshola, hails from Ilesha, while the governorship candidate of the PDP at the August 9th governorship election, Iyolo Mishore, hails from Ile-Ife. The general elections for now seems to stand between pure politics and royal blessings. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ile-Ife.
You're watching CoreTV News at 7. We go for a commercial break. The news returns shortly. Stay with us.
Don't you wish your mommy was fine like mine? Yeah. Don't you wish your mommy was smart like mine? Yeah. Don't you? Don't you wish your mommy could laugh like mine?
And that's why every mom should take 3 Crowns milk with low cholesterol to help stay fit and healthy so she can take extra care of her family.
Don't you wish your wifey was hot like mine?
3 Crowns now comes in powder.
Welcome back. Moving on now, doctors under the employ of the Lagos State government have threatened to embark on an indefinite strike come Monday. In a statement signed by the chairman of the Medical Guild, B. Kufo, the industrial action was precipitated by non-payment of their May 2012 as well as August 2014 salaries by the state government. The doctors had embarked on a 3-month warning strike in February to protest the non-payment of their wages. Kufo says the guild is bewildered that the administration ignored all our efforts to resolve the matter without a strike and only invited the body to talk when the strike began. The salaries of the doctors were withheld under the no work, no pay policy of the state government after it joined its parent body, the NMA, on a nationwide strike last July to protest issues of relativity and other federal appointments in the health sector. The Guild accused the state government of operating a discriminatory policy as the salaries of their members of the union of the health sectors were withheld and embarked on a strike between November and January, it said. Now, President Goodluck Jonathan has appointed Ishaya Dare Akau as new chairman of the Subsidy Reinvestment and Empowerment Program, SHOP. A presidency statement indicates that Akau would immediately replace retired General Martin Luther Aguai, who until Tuesday was the SHOP chairman. It was, however, silent on whether the former chief of defense staff left voluntarily or was sacked or asked to go. The new Shopi chairman hails from Jama local government area of Kaduna State and holds a bachelor's degree in arts and law. The presidency described him as a high-level administrator in the nation's public service, whose record of service includes tenure as chairman of Kaduna State Universal Education Board and chairman of the National Assembly Service Commission. Meanwhile, the federal government says it has been spending about 100 billion naira annually on educational projects across Nigerian universities. It also insisted that it has over the years paid special attention to the education sector through provision of infrastructure. Vice President Namadi Sambo disclosed this at a foundation-laying ceremony of a 360-bed female hostel block named after Dame Patience Jonathan and a modern international conference center at the Bayero University, Kano. He added that the federal government has approved 1.5 trillion naira from the Presidential Support Fund on Education to cater for the need of Nigerian universities and other tertiary institutions. The Vice President also held an interactive session with members of the university community shortly after the ceremony.
These projects have a total allocation of 11.9 billion naira, while 3 billion further allocation for higher impact projects under the 2010-2014 intervention funds. The police academy at Udil, which has now been upgraded into a degree awarding institution for a university, has a total of 8 ongoing key projects with a total allocation of 2.4 billion, while 1.5 billion naira was allocated as a take-off grant for the new university under the 2012-2014 intervention funds.
We have deliberately pursued, or we have been pursuing policies geared towards repositioning the university from a predominantly humanities-based university to a science-based one, expanding access through the introduction of new courses and new programs, promoting research excellence through establishment of new research centers, as well as more graduate programs, and deepening academic excellence through training and retraining of staff and so on.
And now to security matters. Boko Haram insurgents in a convoy of Toyota Hilux vehicles and motorcycles attacked Chibok community and carted away several properties and good items before touching many houses in the early hours of Tuesday. Confirming Tuesday's incident in Maiduguri, a military source said the fleeing terrorists from Sambisa forest overran Kauturi village, 10 kilometers from Chibok town, by touching over 3 dozen houses and places of worship at dawn. Chairman of the Chibok local government, Baana Lawan, also confirmed the attack, even as he said no life was lost. Chibok is 126 kilometers south of Maiduguri, the state capital. Now, the Senate has hailed the military authorities over the success of recent counter-terrorism operations against Boko Haram in the northeast. The federal lawmakers also urged the troops not to relent in its efforts that have seen them reclaim over 30 communities previously held by the Islamists. The resolution was on the basis of a motion, which incidentally was moved by senators before now were critical of reports at the front line.
It's on record that many senators had, like several Nigerians, been critical of the military after Boko Haram hoisted its flag over several council areas in the 3 states of the northeast. But after weeks of remarkable successes and about 30 territories recovered from the insurgents, federal lawmakers are hailing the troops. One of the critics of the military representing Borno North actually moved the motion.
For those of us whose personal houses are occupied by Boko Haram and flags are hoisted over the roof of my house in my village, please try and appreciate the emotional attachment to these successes. We pray that more of these successes will go on. We will continue to cooperate with our troops. We appreciate their efforts and we ask that they continue this patriotic drive to reclaim all Nigerian territory.
This opened a floodgate of commendations for troops whom many senators say have displayed courage at the front lines. Senators dropped partisan consideration to hail the military.
Distinguished colleagues, I also appreciate you for always, when we come to this chamber in the morning, most of you always ask, how is your place? I hope there is improvement. Even this morning, so many of my colleagues that we greeted each other, the next question is, how is your place coming up? Honestly, I want to appreciate my colleagues for the concern.
Senate President David Mark sums up the view of the Senate, but also mentioned the contributions of the regional forces.
I think we must commend our boys and girls out in the field there who have been going through this hardship. Clearly, with the right platform, the armed forces in this country will prove themselves that they are worthy of the international reputation that they've earned. And I think we must also commend the regional forces that have come to cooperate with us, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon. Not only for the assistance, but for the cooperation, because it takes more than just normal desire to operate together, particularly they are French-speaking and we are Anglophone. So it's a good regional effort, and we must commend ECOWAS.
The senators noted that armed forces have within weeks proved to the international community that they are indeed an efficient fighting force. They, however, expressed hope that the troops would not relent until the insurgents are totally flushed out.
Away from security matters to the judiciary, where the Commissioner for Justice, Plateau State, Olivier Dazem, said the state government had so far spent 500 million naira on the construction of a high court complex in Jos. Dazem told newsmen in the state capital on Monday that the measure was part of the initiatives to provide conducive environment for the dispensation of justice. She said the essence of the project was to ensure a comfortable accommodation for justice delivery. According to her, the present complex is a legacy given to them, but it requires a change due to the current realities and innovation in the judicial system. Meanwhile, the state chapter of the Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria, who has been on strike since the year began, had earlier accused the executive of abandoning the building in the state. We'll go for another quick break. When the news returns, we'll bring you news outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back, and now to news outside Nigeria. Ivory Coast First Lady Simone Gbagbo has been sentenced to 20 years in jail for her role in the violence that followed the 2010 elections. Mrs. Gbagbo, 65, has been charged with undermining state security. Her husband, former Ivorian President Laurent Gbagbo, is awaiting trial at the International Criminal Court, ICC. More than 3,000 people died in the violence that followed the presidential poll after the ex-leader refused to accept defeat to Alassane Ouattara. She and her husband were arrested in 2011 after troops stormed a bunker where the pair had taken refuge in the main city, Abidjan. It was in the same city where Gbagbo, once called the Iron Lady and known for her fiery speeches, faced trial. She was also accused of disturbing public order and organizing armed gangs. And that's our package for 7 p.m. Do join us at 9:45 for our flagship news. From all of us here, bye for now.